This is kanji in Danzan-Ryu Jiu-Jitsu. I'm your host, George Arrington. In this final part of our exploration of the kanji from the Kiai no Maki, part 7, we will look at those techniques involving the defense against a pistol. So here's the scroll that we've seen several times. It is the scroll that was awarded to a student of Professor Okazaki when that student reached the rank of second black belt. The contents of this scroll are known as the Moku Roku, or catalog. In this particular video, I want you to watch out for this particular character, Moku, which means to look at or to examine. Here's the section from the scroll that involves the Kiai no Maki. In this 7th part, we're going to be looking at these kanji right here. So once again, here is Professor Okazaki's dojo as it appeared back in the 1940s in Honolulu. And we'll look at the Kiai no Maki board, we'll pull that out. And the final section of this board is known as Tanju no Maki. Here's an overview of the techniques from the Tanju section of the Kiai no Maki. The name, of course, is Tanju. The first technique is called Gan Hazushi, sometimes Me Hazushi, Mune Hazushi, and Hibara Hazushi. So we'll first look at the name of this particular section. It's Tanju, and we see here the handwritten version as well as the printed version. And again, we have that little period at the end. It's a little circle. So tan means short. And we'd seen this character before when we talked about the tanto, which is a short sword or knife. And that's what it means. It means short. And then ju is elongated. It has the long oo sound, ju, and this means gun. Now here we see two short guns or pistols. We see a revolver at the top. That's a Colt police revolver. And then we see a Colt 1911 semi-automatic pistol there on below. So the stroke order for these characters are as follows. I'll turn on my laser pointer. And this first character, which means short, is made up of two parts. And interestingly, this part, this left part, means arrow, and this right part means bean, as in soybean. So why those two together mean short, you got me. I don't know. But anyway, let's look at the stroke order. It goes 1, 2, and then 3, another horizontal stroke. 4 is the sweeping downward stroke. 5, and that's the arrow part. And then the bean part starts off 6, then the little box, 7, 8, 9. And I might just pause here and talk about the box for a second. This box means mouth. And by itself it means mouth. And this is something you see a lot in characters in kanji. So it's a good thing to just be able to go boom, 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 and draw that very quickly. You see that all the time. So again, 7, 8, and then 9. And then 10 and 11, you draw these two marks, and then finish it with a 12 underneath. So that whole kanji, which is pronounced tan, means short. Okay, the next kanji, again, it looks like it has two parts. This left side means gold or metal. and this part means to allot or to fill. Now again, why those two together mean gun, not sure. But anyway, so let's start off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 horizontal strokes. 5 goes straight through. 6 and 7, and then 8 is the bottom. Then we go over to this part. 9, 10, our little pot lid. 11, 12, 13, 14 goes straight down to the right and then up, a little up at the end there. The first technique in the pistol section is called Gan Hazushi. Here we see the written version and the printed version. Gan can also be read as me, and it means eyeball. Sometimes you'll hear this technique called me hazushi, gan hazushi. It's just different pronunciations of the same word, which is for eyeball. And then hazushi we've talked about many times before. It means when you're talking about releasing from a hand grab, you would use te hazushi, and that would mean to remove. But in this case, we don't want to say eyeball removal. That would sound strange. So we'll just call it an eyeball escape. So basically someone has pointed a gun at your face and you escape from that. So here are the strokes for that those kanji. We start off with this portion, and I want to point out something here. This portion, if you remember at the very beginning when I showed the mokuroku, the moku part, which means to look at, is also seen there kind of in a compressed version, and it has to do with eyes. So whenever you see this particular radical, it might, not always, but it might have something to do with the eyes or seeing. So let's go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that is the left side, and then we continue. 6 comes down like this, then 7 and 8. Then we close off that little container there, come straight down and kick up like that. And then here you do this one first, 10 and 11. Okay, now hazushi we've seen several times before. We have the crescent moon here. 1, 2, 3, and then a vertical stroke, 4, and then a downward stroke, 5. All right, this technique we have seen both of these characters before, Mune and Hazushi. Mune, you may remember, means chest. And again, Hazushi, we're just going to use the word escape for simplicity's sake. And here are the kanji. Again, remember that this part of the kanji can mean moon, but it also means flesh or meat. And so whenever we see this combined with or used as a radical, it probably means that this is some kind of body part. So let's go on. 1, 2 with a little kick, 3 and 4. And then we go 5, 6, a little container with a little kick there at the bottom. And then we do the inside of this little bucket of here, and we start with the right side one, 7 and 8, and then 9 comes this way, and 10. So that's the kanji for mune, which means chest. And then again we have the hazushi part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a good one to practice. And then the last technique in this pistol section is called Hibata Hazushi. We've seen this name exactly in this form before in the knife section. He by itself means spleen, and hara, or bata in this case, means abdomen, and together they mean the side of the body. And hazushi means escape. Okay, so let's look at the kanji. Now, remember what I said, that whenever you see this particular radical, it might have something to do with parts of the body. And in this case, it's both. Both are true, spleen and abdomen. So 1, 2, kick, 3, 4. Now this one's a little bit different. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, and 9 by themselves are means sun, but then we have this unusual stroke number 10, which goes from the middle here and sweeps down through at kind of an angle there. And then we draw the horizontal stroke and the vertical stroke, 11 and 12. Okay, so that means spleen. And then hara, or bata in this case, we go 1, 2, kick, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, down this way, 9, 10, and then 11, 12, 13, like so. And again, Hazushi you should be very familiar with by now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is Hibata Hazushi. Well, we've come to the end of this particular series, and the question may arise, what is the value of learning kanji? And here I've included a couple of Japanese characters which say kanji, which actually means Chinese character. So why learn Japanese or Chinese characters at all? Well, learning any new and possibly unfamiliar subject increases your overall knowledge and expands your mind. It's always valuable to look at something unfamiliar and, most importantly, start at the beginning, try to figure the thing out. Well, then you may ask, well, will learning kanji make me a better martial artist? Now, this is an interesting question. Will the learning of writing Japanese or Chinese characters actually improve your ability to do a punch or kick or throw or joint lock? And I think the answer to that is probably no, it won't. But some of the greatest martial artists in history have been great scholars as well. For instance, one of the greatest teachers of the Chinese martial art, Tai Chi, was known as the master of 5 excellences. Those are calligraphy, painting, poetry, Tai Chi, and medicine. I think it's well said that knowing many things will make you a truly versatile individual. Okay, so let's say that you say, I'm interested in learning kanji. What are some good resources? Well, number one is find a teacher, if you can. Someone who will help you with the nuances of the brush strokes and the order of the brush strokes and what the particular kanji mean. They will be able to judge whether you're doing it in a proper manner or a improper manner. They'll be able to help you in many ways. Another resource that you can use is what are called practice sheets, and these are pre-printed sheets with the kanji, with multiple copies of the kanji in a light gray appearance, so that you can trace over the kanji in the proper order with your brush or with your pen. Next, I would also recommend getting a very good dictionary. I always use the Nelson dictionary. I like the red version. There's also a new version that is in a blue cover. But a good dictionary will allow you to learn the kanji that you might be reading. And then finally is repetition. You don't make your muscle stronger by just lifting the weight one time. You lift it over and over and over and over and over. So practice your kanji many times. You'll find that this is probably the best teacher of them all. My book, Mokuroku and Kaiden Sho, the official documents of Danzan-Ryu Jujutsu, is a book that contains the translations of several of the different Mokuroku scrolls that were given by Professor Okazaki as graduations to his students, as well as a certificate that was handed out by him in 1948 called the Kaiden Sho. That means the Complete Transmission Certificate, and it was a very important document. And what I do in all of these cases is I show the actual picture from the scroll or the document. The printed version of those, which may not, in the written version, may not be easy to read. The printed version, along with the romanization of the pronunciation of the Japanese in English form, and then the translation as well. So it's a very detailed book. If you're interested in kanji, this is a great addition to your library, and you can pick it up on Amazon. Well, thanks for watching this series. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've gotten something out of it and maybe learned something about Danzan-Ryu. Keep an eye out for the next series, and I'll see you then.